Your boy Meritaboy, I'm back up in this thing, man. Listen. Uh, I said I was gonna go live tomorrow and have story time with y'all, but I was just laying here and I was listening to the live that I did earlier. For those of you that may have not caught that live, go back and check that live out. And I just felt like not waiting till tomorrow and to do some story time tonight because as I was listening to myself on the previous live tell the story of my homie that got killed last week, George Samuels, rest in heaven, and my dog, it just made me start reminiscing and thinking about a lot of other people that I knew that was murdered. And I decided to want to have some story time tonight because let me tell y'all something. I know so many people that's been murdered to I can have story time tonight. I can have story time tomorrow. I can have story time the next day, and I promise you, I still will not run out of people that I could tell you guys about. I know that many people that's been murdered. Like real talk, I know probably over 50 people that's done been murdered. Like I knew them like personally, and it might be more than that. I'm just like making a ballpark number. I didn't want to say 100 because I didn't want to get extravagant, but I know 50 people that's done been murdered. Like I knew them, like I've talked to them like in life, and they're murder victims now. So, uh, I want y'all to hit that like button on the way in, and we're gonna have story time. Yeah, we back. Shout out to Nate said it. I just was laying here and I just felt like talking. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like talking. I be alone a lot of times, y'all. I told you I don't have too many people to talk to, like for real. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, but I I don't have too many people to talk to. So uh I wanted to tell y'all a couple stories, right? So about people that I know that got murdered, right? And the first story I want to tell y'all about is a young man that I met in 1999. Let me see, 1999, 1990, yeah, 1999. His name is LaTony Jones, right? How I met LaTony Jones was I I had got sentenced to a juvenile program when I was like 16. I didn't catch a charge until I was 16. I caught two dope charges back to back, and I ended up getting waived over as an adult. No, I take that back. I take that back. I caught two dope charges back to back, and I ended up getting sentenced to a level 6 program in the juvenile system in Florida. But they let me out on home detention. No, they let me out on electric monitor ankle bracelet. And this is when my daddy was cool with the my probation officer. I told my dad had a lot of pull. So I stayed on probation, so on electric monitor at my daddy's house for like 6 months. So what ended up happening is they ended up letting me off of fucking house arrest be, and suspending the program because the amount of time that I had did on house arrest was the same amount of time that they wanted me to do in a program. So my daddy pulled some strings. I told you, my dad had a lot of pull, y'all. I tell you no lie. He pulled some strings, and my probation officer, which was my daddy's homeboy, they knew each other before the guy even became a probation officer for the juvenile system. He pulled some strings, and they ended up letting me off the house arrest. All I had to do was be home at a certain time, pass a drug test, and either get back to school or go get a job. Man, y'all know what I did. Went straight back to the block, went straight back to hustling. They had something called the Jam Unit, which was a group of police officers that was assigned to go by and check the curfews of uh, uh, juveniles to see if they were home, and they came by my house. Of course, I wasn't there, so they issued a warrant for me. So I goes on a run. I go on a run. I never stayed back at my daddy's house. I lived everywhere. I lived in hotels. I'm talking about I'm 16. I lived in hotels. We in if you know anything about Orlando, Florida, or it's a lot back then. I don't know how it worked now, but back then it was a lot of hotels that would rent us rooms. We was underage and they still would rent us rooms, like for real. Like we would love to rent the rooms because that's where all the crackheads was at. You know what I'm saying? So we would have hotel rooms in the room in the hotels were like the rundown hotels, the ones where all the crackheads at, the ones where the Asian people run or the Arab people ran. We would have hotel rooms there, and of course they would try to keep us from selling drugs there. But we just came up with creative ass ways to sell drugs. We would keep the drugs hidden. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes the police will raid your room and shit like that, and you might get kicked out or you might go to jail because it was one way in, one way out your hotel room. But anyway, this is where I live. So I went on a run for like 2 years, right? So I ended up getting caught, and when I ended up getting caught, they had been looking for me for a while. The police like knew my name and everything. Like, so I got caught when I was like 17. And let me tell y'all why you don't listen to your dumbass homeboys. Hit that like button on the way in. Let me tell y'all why you don't listen to your shout out to Dre 6100. Let me tell y'all why you don't listen to your dumbass homeboys. So I got caught with my homeboy named Low Life, right? Low Life had dope on him. I just had a warrant from the juvenile program, right? When the police caught me in Low Life walking through the projects, they asked me, had I ever been to the county? Low Life told me to tell them that I had. He said if I tell them that I had been to the county, they had to take me to the county. Once they take me to the county, then I could bond out. That's what he told me, right? So they asked me, they say, have you ever been to the county? I say, yeah. So they took me straight to the county. Now, this is how it goes, y'all. Once you are a once you touch the county, if you're a juvenile and once you go to the county, you are there for direct file. So anytime you go to jail after that, you go into the county. Period, point blank, no way around it, right? But what happened with me was since I had a juvenile, uh, hold on, I'm telling this story wrong. Hold on, I'm telling the story wrong, y'all. I take it back. I take it back. Okay, I know what happened. When I was running from the police, I had got caught. I swallowed some dope. The police jumped down on me, and I swallowed an 8 ball. I had a seizure. I had a seizure, and they took me to the hospital. They took me to the hospital, and when I woke up, all my clothes was cut off me. I'm about like 16, 7, 6, 7, 16, about 17. I woke up, all my clothes was cut off of me. They had a catheter in my pee pee. Swear to God, bro. And I'm strapped to the bed, bro. And the nurse came to me and she said, I woke up and I was like, what the fuck going on? Like I'm like, you know what I'm saying, strapped to the bed. I'm fighting this shit. I'm like, what the fuck going on? Like, you know what I mean? Because I don't remember what happened. Uh, and the nurse came to me. She said you had a seizure, and we had to strap you to the bed because you was fighting the doctors and shit like that. And I remember when she said it. I remember I thought that shit was a dream, but I guess in the middle of the seizure, I was I thought the seizure was a dream, dog, but it was real. It was me fighting the people, but it was because I had done swallowed the cocaine, and I was seasoned. I was strong as fuck too. I remember it too. I was throwing the white men's around in that motherfucker dog. You know what I'm saying? Like for real. But I had a seizure. So how the system works is the police didn't know whether I swallowed dope, but they knew I swallowed dope. So that's why they had the catheter in my pee pee, because they was using they was taking that pee and drug testing it. So they gave me some charcoal shit. It was like a big glass, and it had like, I swear, like big like black little charcoal things in that motherfucker. And they told me to drink it, and when I drunk it, I guess it must have filtered out the drugs in my system. I remember boo booing out nothing but like black charcoal rocks. That shit was like fucked up, like for real. Like that shit was, man, it was some fucked up shit. But I guess that's what cleared the toxins out of your body. But anyway, so they didn't take me to jail right then, because how it works is Orlando Police Department, they don't want to pay that hospital bill. So what they do is they take you to the hospital, and they let you get released on your own, right? Or your parents or whoever can get you. Actually, my stepfather came and got me from the hospital or whatever. And he had to bring me clothes and everything, bro. I ain't had no clothes and nothing, bro. People cut my clothes straight down the middle. I was laying on the bed naked as fuck. So scrapped to that bitch, my legs, arms, all that shit, nigga. I was in that bitch like Hannibal Lecter, swear to God. So I think I like 17. So when they let you out of the hospital, they issue a warrant for you a couple days later. So that's what happened. So I already got a warrant for the juvenile program, right? I already got a warrant for that, right? So, and now I'm got a warrant for the destruction of evidence, because they said that I swallowed some cocaine, which I did, and how what they're going to use as evidence of that is they're going to use the pee that they done stuck a catheter in my shit and got the pee and test the pee. And yeah, he had cocaine in the system, but I had cocaine in my system is because when they jumped down on me, I swallowed it. Listen, if y'all look at my record, I got like so many destruction of evidence charges. I done ate weed. I done ate cocaine. I will eat some shit when I was young. I will eat some shit in a minute. Like I promise you. Like I stayed, I stayed eating shit for real, for real, for real. Like I shout out nephew for real. She said, "Did you get a kick? Did you get sick after taking that coke?" Uh, I don't know. I had a seizure. I had a seizure. Was I sick? No, but I had a seizure. You know what I'm saying? So I guess when I ate the shit, it was so much for my system till I blacked out, and then when I woke up, I was fighting the doctors and shit. But that was me having a seizure, and then I blacked out again, or either they sedated me again, and that's when they strapped me to the bed and cut all my clothes off and shit like that there. And they probably saved my life. I don't know. They probably saved my life. But anyway, I ended up having two warrants. I had a warrant for the juvenile program, and I had a warrant for the destruction evidence. I told you I was a motherfucker, y'all. So I went on a run. I went on a run for like 2 years. Like I only came out at nighttime. I never went to my daddy's house. I rarely would go by my family. I was just like living like like a fugitive bit. You know what I'm saying? Living with running, having a warrant is like the worst type of living, bro. I swear to God, because you can't go to parties, you can't go to clubs, you can't get caught riding in certain cars. It's like always the fear of being stopped by the police, and you may go to jail or get pulled over. So you can't do the shit. You can't even really live, like, you know what I'm saying? So it was things that my homeboys would do, like they could go to the club. I couldn't even fucking really go to the club. Every now and then I would sneak into the club, but like it wasn't worth it. It like, so you find yourself just living like a fucking, I don't know, like a fugitive. Like, you know, you always stay ducked off. You might stay over a girl house. She might not know you got a warrant until you know what I mean, especially if you just met her. So it's just like too much. Like it was just a lot. So, but I did the shit for 2 years. I ran for like 2 years. So me and Low Life ended up getting caught walking through the projects one early morning. Um, and they was looking for me. They already knew me. They was happy when they found me. I never forget this was police name Picciano, Italian police officer. He was like, bro, he's like, boy, little Pico, we've been looking for you for 2 years, boy. He was like, woo, we got you. Like I'm telling you, like that shit used to be like a game to them. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I was known. Like you know what I'm saying? Like they been looking for me. Like but I had been taught so good by my homeboys and the dudes that was a little older than me how to really run and duck and hide and how to, you know. So I had kind of got good at it. It was stressful. I hated it, but I was so happy kind of when I had got caught because I was ready to get this shit over with. So anyway, they take me. Low Life tell me to tell the fucking police that I had been to the county and I did. And I had already been to the county for real. So they end up not taking me to juvenile. They end up taking me to the county. So when they took me to the county, I end up doing. I still got a warrant for juvenile, right? But Orange, the adult system wants to handle whatever situation they got with me first because that's what they took me. They took me to 33rd Street Jail, Orlando, Florida. So I go to court. You know, at first they put me in the juvenile side of the county because in when you is under 18, you cannot be put with the adults. So they put me in the juvenile side of the county. That is from whatever 12, 13, 14, all the way up to 17. When you turn 18, they automatically send you to where the adults are. But it's only three sides of the juvenile side of the county. It's Alpha, it's Bravo, and it's Charlie. A, B, and C. Uh, Alpha is lockdown. Bravo is general population for the juveniles, and Charlie is general population for the juveniles. So you got two general populations, and you got one for if some of these juveniles get into fights or something like that, they put them in lockdown, which is Alpha, one Alpha. So they put me in there, and I get into a fight the first week. I get into a fight in juvenile. You got to go to school, so I go to school and I get into a fight with a jit named Chris Brown from Eatonville, Florida. Uh, I'm in I forget what class, but I'm cheating. The answers in the back of the book, so I'm looking in the back of the book and I'm writing the answers down. So when I take the teacher got one of the inmates, Jit Chris Brown. They got him grading our papers, and he give me back my paper. He tell me my paper wrong. So I like, bro, what you mean my paper wrong? He like, your paper wrong? Like, my paper ain't fucking wrong. Like, he like, yeah, it is, bro. I'm like, bro, be honest with you, bro, my paper ain't wrong, bro. I cheated, bro. My shit. You know, I'm just telling the nigga, like, bro, I cheated, bro. All the shit in the back, I wrote all shit. He like, that's why it's wrong. Now, back then, like I was quick. I'm known for fighting. I'm not known for shooting nobody, no shit like that or whatever, whatever. But I'm known for fighting and shit. You know what I'm saying? I was known for fighting. And then back then, at that age, you know, you like to get in the fights in jail because that's when you get a chance to put on for your hood. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knew where I'm from. I'm from cross town. So this way you get a chance to represent. This way you get a chance to make your name. Now, how Chris was talking to me, people don't talk to me like that. Like people didn't talk to me like that back then. So it in jail, when you in jail in juvenile shit like that, that's when you get a chance to run into jits or people from other hoods who may test your gangster. You see what I'm saying? So when he said what he said back to me, that shit just like threw me like, cause I'm like, what the? It's like, you know, like Jit don't know me. But this when I realized that it's people from other hoods who like me. They get it down, they fight, they gon' rep for their hood too, you know. And when you get into a situation like that, hey, it is what it is. Hey, uh, let's get it cracking. Let's do this. Like this is what. this is where we get to make our name. Like this is where we get to put on for our hood. We enjoyed this. It's nothing but a fight. So it ain't like no guns or no knives or nothing involved. So bitch, we grew up fighting. Let's do this. So I jump up. I'm like, hold on. He said something about my mama or something. So I like that was cross the line. Like we gotta fight. You know what I mean? Like we gotta fight. So I jump up, he jump up, I swing, he swing, pop, 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 we lock up. I end up getting on top of him. This shit lasts maybe 20 seconds. And the fucking COs came in, got us, grappled us up, broke us up, and then put me in handcuffs, put him in handcuffs, and then take us to one alpha, right? Right out of school. So I told y'all my family, I got one of the biggest families in Orlando. So one of the COs was my cousin. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the COs was my blood cousin. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm telling you, like everywhere I went, I got people like that's related to me or cool with my daddy that always looked out for me and shit like that. So uh they took me to lockdown and they DR me. They DR me. They give me 30 days. They give me 30 days. But you got to think now. So when they took me from school, they took me straight to lockdown. They didn't take me back to my room in one Bravo for me to get my mat, my canteen, my letters, my cover, none of that. They take you straight to lockdown, right? So when the other kids coming back from school, this is in the county jail though. They going back to the dorm where I was at. So by the time I tell the CO, hey, look, CO, check this out. When y'all gonna? I know I'm in lockdown, right? I'm in here. I'm gonna be in here for 30 days, right? When y'all gonna give me my shit? Like when you gonna give me my canteen, my mat, my letters, all my shit that I already got? Let me get my shit. Let me get my shit. So when they bring me my shit at it like hours later, nigga, I got no food in that motherfucker, dog. Now I just made a 50. I made a nice $50 store order at the time. I don't got no food in that bitch. Bruh. And let me tell you, the worst thing to be in lockdown is in lockdown with no canteen. That means you can only eat the food that they feed you, and you only get fed 3 times a day. That shit don't even be enough food. Some of that shit you don't even want to eat. And bro, it like that's the worst. Like if you go to lockdown, the best you can do is at least go to lockdown with some canteen. And I would have had canteen. I would have had a 50. Now I would have had to ration that shit for 30 days, but I would have had it. So being that it wasn't in there, I want my shit at. He like, man, this all was there when we got in your room. So now I already know what happened. When them jits went back to the dorm, they done stole my shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in lockdown. I can't do nothing about it. I'm in lockdown. Like, damn. So when they put me in lockdown, they moved a jit in my dorm. His name was Michael Noel, one block, a little short jit. He probably like 5'2", 5'3". He was like a habitual offender. He stayed in lockdown. He was in there before I got in there, and they put him in the room with me. And me and him kind of like we hit it off. We hit it off because he was my celly in lockdown, so we hit it off or whatever. And when adults can't have contact with juveniles, so in order for them to feed us, the same jits who I was in the dorm with, they would have to feed us, and they would feed us through the bean hole. If you know what the bean hole is, that's the little door that is inside your. That's the little hole that's inside your door when you in jail. And we was in lockdown, so we would get. That's why when the people say they had 23 and 1s, I know what a 23 and 1 is because in lockdown that's what you get. 23 and 1s. You get 23 hours a day in that motherfucking cell, and you will get 1 hour a day out. You don't get no phone calls. You can get letters, but you don't get no phone calls. You don't get no canteen, and you only get the base 3 times a week: Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Saturdays and Sundays, your ass better bathe in that sink. The same sink that you can drink out of, the same sink that got the toilet water in it. That's where your ass better bathe in. You know what I'm saying? If you wanna, you know what I'm saying, freshen up or something like that. So uh one of the jits, so I had to got word that the jit who stole my food was one of the jits that was in the dorm with me. I tell y'all no lie, bro. The man was in there for attempted murder. This is the God, the heaven motherfucking truth. He was the biggest nigga in there. Now I was taller than him, but he was the biggest. Like he was stocky, big. You know what I'm saying? And he was in there for shooting the nigga, right? I was only in there for destruction of evidence. I'm in this bitch for destruction of evidence. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm only in this bitch for swallowing some dope and having a seizure. Plus, I got a juvenile warrant, and they tell me that he took my shit. Right? I'm never one to beat on the beanhole. I'm never one. I mean, to beat on the door and be like, "Oh, it's niggas that'll do that. Oh, I'm gonna kill you, fuck nigga." I told you, I'm more like a thinker. What 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 point does it make for me to beat on this door and signal to the COs and to the nigga that I have a problem with you and that I know that you took my shit and that I'm going to do something to you whenever I get out of here. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? So I never did that, right? So just so happened to one day they had him serving the child. So he came. So my homeboy one block say, hey, that nigga that took your shit, that nigga serving us, bruh. I say, for real? He say, yeah. He say, bro, when that nigga get around this door, I'ma spit on that fuck nigga. I say, nope. I say, no, I got this. Just chill. The nigga came to our cell right now. He don't know that I know he took my shit, right? He came to my cell. He gave my homeboy his tray through the bean hole. We can't get out to him. He gave it through the door hole. He gave me my tray. I waited till he gave me my tray before I said what I said to him because, of course, I want the nigga to flip my tray over or spit on my food or whatever. So I get the tray from him and I say, "Hey, bro." He said, "What up?" I say, "Bro, they say you the one who took my shit." Swear to God, this is what the nigga said, dog. This is God having truth. He say, "Bro, I'm gonna be real with you, dog." He say, "Shit, better me than somebody else." I say, "For real?" He say, "Yeah." I say, "All right, you already know what it is when I get out, right?" This me him talking like we just talking regular. He say, "Yeah, I already know." I say, "Bet." He say, "All right, bet." And that's what it was. Me and him, me and him ain't yell. He ain't yell at me. He ain't call me no fuck niggas, no nothing. The nigga said some real shit. The nigga said, swear to God. The nigga said, "Oh yeah." He said, "Bro, better me than somebody else." I said, "Oh yeah, that's real." I say, "So you already know what it is when I get out that bit, right?" He said, "Yeah, yeah, I already know what it is." I said, "All right, bet." He said, "All right, bet." Like that's what it was. That's what it was. So so one block was mad as fuck. My Sally, he was mad as fuck. He like, man, he like, man, I want to whoop that fuck nigga, that. So the nigga who took my shit, he had a little crew. It was two more niggas. I ain't gonna tell y'all their name. I ain't gonna tell y'all their name because people won't let nobody know it, whatever. So, but it was two more niggas, right? So just so happened one block was getting out of lockdown before me. I had 30 days. One block had less than that. So I told one block say, bro. He said, when I get out of lockdown, he said, I'm gonna go whoop them fuck niggas. I say, no, bro. I say, no, bro. You got to stay out of lockdown until I get out of lockdown, and then we gonna get them niggas together. He say, bro, I can't wait that long, bro. He said, I can't wait. One block was crazy, y'all. He was a little small dude. I swear to God, but he was like something was wrong with him. Like one block had like a learning disability or some shit. Like one block was somebody. I'm gonna tell you what happened to him too. He ended up catching life too. Later on though, he ended up getting out of jail. He ended up catching life. He got life right now. But anyway, something was wrong with one block. Like you could tell he was not somebody that could function in a normal society. You know, like, he was like a career criminal type motherfucker. So he said, I can't wait, bro. I say, bro, goddamn. I say, I get out of lockdown a week after you get out of lockdown, bro. You know what I'm saying? So just chill, just wait on me. So anyway, one day we still in lockdown, and they let us feed the general population. The CO, we had a CO named Brown. He was an old white man named, looked like Overred and Barker. He was old. This bitch was like 67. He was old as dirt, little and skinny as shit, but he was mean as fuck. But he was old, and he let me and one block feed. Like, and that was a privilege to get out your cell in order to feed the other inmates because you get the extras. You get that. You have to clean up the day room and shit like that too. But you get the extra food. You get whatever left over. You get to eat, nigga. And that's a privilege being in lockdown because it's no food in that bitch. You ain't got no canteen, so that's like the best they can give you. Plus, so he let us feed the inmates, right? So we fed the same nigga that took my shit. I'm feeding the nigga, right? I'm feeding him like I'm like they like the juveniles. They lined up and we putting the food in their tray like it's a line, and we put the shit in there. Mashed potatoes here, you know what I'm saying, green beans here, chicken patty right there. You know what I'm saying? So we feeding everybody. So the nigga get to the front of the line and I'm feeding the nigga. So the nigga mean mug me. So I mean mugging the nigga back. So one block, he's so goddamn mad. He just look at me like he mad. He wanna fight right then. So we get through feeding everybody, right? We get through feeding everybody and we sit down eating our food, but we still ain't cleaned up after the serving. We have to you got to clean up. You got to take the trays back up from everybody's room. You got to put them back on the thing. You got to sweep the day room. You got to mop the day room. You got to wipe the counters, the tables down, shit like that. So we eating right. So one block say, man, I can't wait to get out of lockdown to go fight them niggas. I say, what you mean, bro? He say, I'm finna go. He say, I want to fight them niggas now. I say, bro, can you? I say, bro, can you just chill out, bro? Look, bro, I told you when we got locked down, we gonna get them niggas, bro. Just chill. He say, no, bro. He say, I want to fight them niggas now. He went to the room and he put on. He had some chucks, like some fake chucks, fake Converse, right? He took off his slides. He rolled his pants legs up, and he put on his fake Converse shoes he had on. And he called me in the room. He said, come here. I said, what up, bro? He said, bro. He said, I'm finna run out of here and I'm finna run over there in the general population because the doors was open. They side by side. So all we got to do is run up the stairs and run through the door and run through the other door. And we actually in general population where the other juveniles at. So he say, bro, I'm finna run out of here and I'm finna run past Brown. I told you he had an old ass CO. He was old. He couldn't stop neither one of us, bro. The man was old, like 60-some years old. So and I'm finna fight them niggas. He say, and you told me that you was gonna fight with me, bro. You said that you was gonna fight with me. He said, that's what you told me. He said, now what you gonna do? I took a deep breath because I was already doing 30 days. I wanted to get out of lockdown and then get another fight. I say, bro, all right, let's do it. So I took off my motherfucking slides. I had some fake Converse too that I think somebody gave them bitches to me or something or whatever. And I put the bitches on. No, matter of fact, I can't remember, but I don't remember. But either way, I rolled my pants legs up. We had the jumpsuits, the blues. So what I did was I took the blues off of me and I buttoned them. I tied them around my waist. So I had like a regular white sweater on that I had bought, but I also had but I had my blues to my waist. You know what I'm saying? The jumpsuit shit to my waist. So hey, it was like 1, 2, 3, let's go. We shot out the room. We shot up the stairs. We shot through the door. When we shot through the door, we ran right past the CO, and I'm on the top of the stairs in the general population. All the juveniles, they see us. They see us. They see like they know we is in lockdown. They know we not supposed to be there, right? So just so my bad fucking luck, bro, the nigga that I want to fight The nigga that's in there for attempted murder, the nigga that's done took my shit, he is way in the back. Like, it's no way that I can even surprise this nigga or nothing. Like, now what we did was surprising. This had never been done. I swear to God, I want to get this footage, bro. I'm pretty sure that me and One Block the only people that ever done this. I have never seen this before. I never knew nobody did this. We was in lockdown. We technically escaped lockdown and got into another fight in general population. So I point at the nigga uh that took my shit. I point at him. I'm at the top of the stairs. So I point at him. He look at me. He point at me. He like, yo. I'm like, yo. He like, yo. I'm like, yo. So we run straight into each other. Boom. We run straight into each other. I'm taller than him. I'm throwing them things. Beep, beep, beep. I'm a young Spartan. I'm throwing beep, 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 beep. I I I I I feel somebody grab me, and I forgot what the CO name was, but he had a little name for himself. He grabbed me and he body slammed me, bro. And the other COs grabbed the dude that I'm fighting, right? He body slammed me. I was thin back then too, but I was long, tall. When he body slammed me, he don't lay on top of me though. He just throw me on the ground, and then he go to try to help them with the dude that I was fighting. When I hit the ground and I look back, my dog One Block was fighting two niggas, bro. Swear to God, beating the shit out of two niggas, dog. I only had one. One Block had two. He was working them niggas, bro. I'm to my beep beep beep. So I'm laying on the ground for about a good 3 seconds, and I realized ain't no COs on me. So I can get back up and go back to fighting. The COs had the nigga, they was all on the nigga that I was fighting. I jump up, catch the nigga a couple times while the COs got him. Beep, 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 beep. The COs grabbed me. Body slam, but now they got me. They got me gaffing up. They got me in the chicken wing, right? So they gaffing me in One Block up, and I heard one of the COs say, "What you say? What you say? You want to hurt yourself? You say you want to kill yourself?" I say, "Hell no, man! What y'all talking about? I don't know nothing about that shit, though." They're like, I heard you say you want to kill yourself. I say, what? Look, I'm young, y'all. I don't know what the play is. I don't know what the meaning of what he's saying, why he's saying these things, right? So it's about 30 COs now, right? They is all there. The captain, the sergeant, the corporal, the lieutenant, they all there. All they know is me and One Block done broke out of lockdown, and we done got into a fight with some inmates in general population, right? So to punish us, because they looked at that as a disrespect that we did that on their shift, right? If you get into a fight or you do some bullshit on a CEO's shift, they look at it like disrespect. So what they did was when he said that I said that when he said you said you want to hurt yourself, what he was doing was he was lying and saying that I said that so they could put me on the floor with the crazy people, bro. And that's what they did, bro. They put me and One Block on a floor called the fifth floor, bro. Bro, they put me in a room, dog. Bro, when I tell you I had no motherfucking clothes on, I'm about 17, bro. 17. I'm 16 this time because I turned 17 in there. I remember my birthday. I turned 17 in there. They put me on the fifth floor, bro, with no clothes on, bro. One Block, they put One Block up there too, but One Block was in a cell next to mine. But they didn't do him like they did me. They put me on what they call it, suicide watch, right? Bro, the whole cell is glass, y'all. That bitch is glass, and you can walk all the way around the motherfucking cell, dog. And it ain't you don't got nothing in there. You don't got you ain't got no clothes on. You ain't got no cover. All the thing they gave me was a vest that bitch look like they call it a turtle suit, my nigga. But it's a vest. It look like a bulletproof vest, but it's long. It go back to your mid thigh, right? It go back to your mid thigh, right? And It is so fucking cold in that motherfucker, and it's cold on purpose, bro. When I tell, listen. Only thing you got in that bitch is some toilet paper. And me and one block, we made the sad mistake of getting into this fight on a Friday. What is the significance of a Friday, may you ask? The only way to get off of the site, off of the suicide watch, is if a doctor deem you not suicidal. Well, it's no doctors on duty on the weekend. So I got the motherfucking staying here all motherfucking weekend, right? So, bruh, at first I'm a young jit, right? I'm a young Spartan, right? So they got one block maybe 4 cells down from me, right? And uh, fun fact, we had a jit from our hood named Raymond, named Crazy Raymond. If you're from Crosstown, you know Crazy Raymond. And Raymond was crazy, but he grew up with us, right? And Raymond was on the Raymond was in one of the cells up there by side me. Raymond was in that bitch smearing doodoo on the glass and all type of shit. Like this is where I was at. I'm in this bitch where Hannibal Lecter them be at, like for real, for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, that shit was crazy, right? So at first, I'm playing like the shit don't bother me because it ain't that cold at the time when you first get in there. My blood's still boiling from the fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm still, amped up or whatever, whatever. And I'm talking shit to the COs, and they just throw me in the cell or whatever, whatever. So when they get me in there, so at first I start once that cold start working, start gets that AC start pumping on my ass. I start doing push-ups. I'm doing push-ups. I'm doing push-ups. I'm doing push-ups. I'm trying to do anything to keep my body warm. So I promise y'all that motherfucking AC, it seemed like it was like blowing snow out that bitch, dog. I tell y'all no motherfucking lie, that bitch seemed like that bitch was blowing snow out that motherfucker, my nigga. So, so he said Florida has to check every 30 minutes to an hour. Yeah, yeah. Like that's what I'm saying. My cell was glass, and they could walk all the way around it. Like I never seen a cell like that ever. Like my cell, it had hallways all the way around it, and it was all glass. It was like a cube. You know what I'm saying? And the COs would come and walk all the way around that bitch every 30 minutes, and they were right on the little thing. And you know what I'm saying? I guess to tell them that I was alive or I had not did nothing hurt myself, whatever. So anyway, I started jogging in place. I started jogging in place. I'm trying to stay warm. I'm trying to stay warm. I'm trying to stay warm, bro. I swear it seemed like the longer I stayed in there, after a while I got tired of exercising. So I swear to God, I saw snowflakes coming out that motherfucking AC, dog. I tell you no motherfucking lie, dog. That motherfucking AC had snowflakes coming out that motherfucker, bro. Hey, look. Hey, look. Hey, look. So I was getting cold, so I started trying to find me a position in the cell that I couldn't feel the AC, so I started getting in the corner. So look, I was so motherfucking cold in that bitch. I started getting toilet paper, and I ran the toilet paper around my head. I ran the toilet paper around my neck. I ran it around my legs. I ran that goddamn toilet paper around any spot on my body that got them turtle suit, that got them crazy vest with a motherfucking cover. Hey, bro, I promise you, it seemed like that goddamn AC. It seemed like that bitch was just. I can laugh about that shit now, but I ain't tell you no lie. That motherfucking AC, that bitch was punching me, boy. That bitch was beating me down. Listen, hey, listen. I was 6'3" when I went in that motherfucker. By about 12 o'clock that night, bitch, I was 5'2" in the corner, balled up in the fetal position. Listen, bro, listen, it was cold as fuck in there. Like I'm talking, bitch, that motherfucking AC was throwing haymakers on my ass, right? So here go me. I come up with a plan. I had my shoulder dislocated playing sandlot football years prior, right? So I come up with a scheme. I beat on the glass. I tell the CO come here, CO come here. I tell the CO, look, my shoulder dislocated. But my shoulder, I told her the CO's dislocated my shoulder and I need to go to the hospital. I didn't really need to go to the hospital. I just told him that so I could get out that motherfucking cold ass room, right? And I figured that at least I can get a night in a nice hospital bed. It was that motherfucking cold in there, y'all. I ain't tell you no motherfucking lie. That shit was torture, nigga. But they have it cold in there so that the crazy people that's up there, they calm their ass down. I promise you, like you, like I don't give a fuck. You ain't finna be doing too much crazy shit with that goddamn Antarctica on your ass in that bitch. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the trick was. That's what the whole punishment was from for us getting to that fight, right? So the COs come, they call her a nurse. The nurse look at my shoulder, and the nurse like, yeah, his shoulder dislocated. So they end up taking me out the cell, put me some clothes on. Ooh, it felt so good to get the motherfucking clothes on, y'all. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. And they end up taking me to the hospital. They took me to the hospital from the county jail, 33rd from the county fucking jail, bro. I'm feeling so good. I'm laid in that bitch. Even when I got outside, even when they was, even when I'm shackled like the cannibal Lecter and they taking me to the ambulance, even that felt better than being in that goddamn cell, bro, because it was just so goddamn cold in that goddamn cell. So they take me to the hospital, dog. They chain me to the bed. They x-ray my shoulder. They tell me I got a dislocated AC joint. But the thing about it, my shoulder had been dislocated for like years. Like real talk, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I still haven't got surgery for that shit yet. So that same shoulder still dislocated even right to this fucking day. So anyway, um, but I'm thinking that I'm finna get all night in this motherfucking hospital. I get order me some hot dogs. You know what I'm saying? I can eat some food. I can, you know what I mean? Like I got a game plan. You know what I'm saying? I got a game plan, right? So I motherfucking promise y'all, dog. I was not at that motherfucking hospital 2 hours. I was so. I promise the hospital food way better. Hey, look, bro. I promise you, them people got my, and they had a CO there with me waiting. You know what I'm saying? Till I got X-ray and all that. Bro, them people got me in and out that goddamn hospital so goddamn fast. I was so motherfucking disappointed. I got back to the jail probably about 2 in the morning, bro. I left that bitch by 12. I got back to the jail about 2 in the morning. Now me thinking what I know now is them motherfucking people ain't want no motherfucking inmate in there. Them people get my black ass in there and get me out of there. Like, there ain't no waiting line and none of that shit for a motherfucker like me. They want me in and want me out. So so I ended up going back to the, to the them bitches put me right back to the fifth floor. Them bitches had my same cell and everything, waiting on my motherfucking ass, right? But the shift had none changed. So the COs was a little bit nicer because they wasn't the COs that we had this fight on their shift. You know what I'm saying? So when I got back to the fifth floor, it was a lady. I don't know. I know what her name is, but I remember saying, "You the boy that was in cell one?" I say, "Yeah." She say, "You the one that just came back from the hospital, right?" I say, "Yeah." She say, "You know another boy in there? It's another boy in there that was with you in this fight thing?" I say, "Yeah." She say, "Baby, let me tell you something." She say, "That boy kicked that goddamn door the whole while you was gone and told us if we did not put him in the cell beside you, he was gonna do that shit all night." He say so. She say so. He is in the cell beside you. So when you go back to in your cell one, your friend is in cell number two. That was my boy. That was my boy. One block, bro. My boy had done caused all kind of hell in that motherfucker while I was gone, right? And he wanted them to move me in the cell beside. He wanted to be moved in the cell beside me so he could talk to me. You see what I'm saying? Like you gotta understand, me and him the two only. We the only two sane motherfuckers up there. Everybody else up there real deal crazy. We don't. And he my dog, right? So when I get back to my cell, we could talk through the vent. You know what I'm saying? So be like, bro, you good? I'm like, hell yeah. And I want to tell this, I want to say this too, y'all. A lot of people don't know. I didn't say this. One block had been on the fifth floor numerous times. Like he had been there before. I only ever been up there one time, and that was my one and only time. This time right here, but he had been up there numerous times. He knew, one block was one of them people that knew how everything in the jail worked because he had done get in so much trouble to he knew all the COs, he knew everything. So he was like a celebrity inside of jail. He was like a problem. So he had already been up there, so he knew the tricks and how to get shit, you know what I mean? And he would tell me certain shit, like he was teaching me. So when I get back to my cell, I'm talking to you like, bro, you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good, bro. He like, bro, you're soda for that? Like, hell no, bitch. I just want to get out this cold ass cell. He like, yeah, bro, I know, bro, you good. But see, one block had his clothes. Like they didn't put him on suicide, like suicide shit like me. They just put him on the fifth floor. You know what I'm saying? But they had me stripped naked in that bitch, other than the little turtle suit. So, bro, as the night go, me and one block talking through the little vent, right, on the wall, right. So I'm telling bro, I'm like, bro, I'm cold, bro. I'm like, I'm in that bitch about to break, bro. He like, bro, just stay strong, bro. You good? You got this, bro. I swear to God, my dog talked me through that whole night, bro. I was in that bitch weighing it, bro. I'm talking about, and it was only because of the cold. Everything else, I could work with everything else. Like I could work with not having no clothes, no cover, no mat, no none of that shit. But it was just so motherfucking cold in that room, bro. I'm telling you, that bitch had to be a good 30 degrees, bro. Like that shit was torture, my nigga. But my dog talked me through that shit, dog. Like I swear to God, my dog one block, Michael Noel, bro, from Orlando, Florida, bro. That man talked to me the whole night, keeping my spirits up, keeping me like from not cracking when I wanted to crack, keeping me from not giving up when I wanted to give it up, probably keeping me from crying when I wanted to cry, bro. It was just that motherfucking cold in there, bro. I'm telling you no lie, that shit was excruciating. So I fought through that shit the whole weekend, dog. Monday morning, the doctor came and I was able to uh pass a series of tests that they gave me and questions that they asked me to make the doctors them feel like I was a suicidal. And if I'm not mistaken, they had already took one block off of the fifth floor because he wasn't on suicide watch like me. They only put me on suicide watch. They put him up there to punish him, but so I think he had already went back to lockdown. So they let me back on one block told me what to do. He told me when the CO when the doctor come what to say, and that's what I did Monday morning. And they ended up letting me go back to one alpha, which was the lockdown that I had escaped from. They put me back in the same cell, me and one block. They put us back in the same cell together. Um, and a couple days later, DR Board came back and gave me 30 more days. So I ended up having to do 60 days in lockdown straight. You know what I'm saying? It started from the fight in school. Then I ran out of lockdown, got into a fight with other niggas, and they gave me 30 more days, and they gave one block 30 more days. And the crazy part about it, the niggas that we got into a fight with, none of them got in trouble because they said that we ran out of lockdown and went to the general population and got in a fight with them. Had we not ever had we not went out of lockdown and got in a fight with them, they said those guys wouldn't even been in the fight. So we ended up having to pay those guys medical. They ended up charging our accounts, and we ended up having to pay those guys medical, and we ended up with 30 more days. So I ended up doing 60 days in lockdown. Uh, Yeah, and I think one block went to prison. I think one block went to prison from lockdown because when they moved us, he wasn't there. So I think one block ended up going to prison. But anyway, I ended up doing 60 days in lockdown. Now check the crazy part out right. that was a kind of a long period of time for any of the juveniles doing lockdown. I can't remember nobody doing more time straight than me at that point in time. I remember people getting 30 days, getting out, getting another fight, getting 30 more days, shit like that. But I don't remember nobody doing 60 days straight. I did. So right before it was time that I get out, they got a choice. I'm still not 18, so you can only put me two places. You could put me back in Bravo where I came from, or you could put me in Charlie, which is the other side over there. And I didn't want to go to Charlie, so I told the CO, and I told her I got a cousin that's a CO, and he worked our dorm. So, but nobody knew he was my cousin, but I knew he was my cousin. He knew he was my cousin, but we never told nobody. He just was look out for me. You know what I'm saying? He slipped me food and you know what I'm saying? He'll let me stay out sometime and let me use the phone and shit like that there or whatever, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And the other inmates, they be like, man, what that fuck nigga always looking out for you, dog. But I never told him, but he was really my blood cousin or whatever. So anyway, um, right before I started to get out, they got to put me back in the same dorm of the niggas that I fought. You know what I mean? So um, the nigga that's in there for attempted murder, he come to my cell a couple. No, I take it back. He said word. For some reason, by the time I was finna get out, I had done made this like I had done struck a little fear in people's minds or something because I guess once they see that we escaped from lockdown and got into a fight, you know, we was somewhat feared. You know what I'm saying? So they sent word that the dude that I got to fight with, he didn't want no more problems with me. He didn't want no more problems. So because he knew I was going to get ready to get out now, they was counting my time now. And so he was like, he sent word like, look, man, tell him I don't want no more problems with him, like this and that there, like everything cool, this and that there. And he told me, then when he told me too, well, I'm gonna tell the story right. So I said, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? I just did 60 days of lockdown. I need to get out of here. I need to get out of lockdown so I can get on this phone and I can get somebody to send me some money so I can eat me some real motherfucking canteen. You know what I'm saying? Like I can eat me some honey buns, some peanut butter cookies, some Snicker bars, some tater chips, some shit like that. So I need to get out of this motherfucker so I can work my mojo. You can't really work your mojo inside a lockdown. You know what I mean? Like I need to get out this bitch. I've been in this bitch 60 days. I want to be free. So I'm cool with the peace treaty or whatever, right? So when they get me out, when they ask me, do I want to go to Charlie, which is the dorm that I never been in? It's the other juvenile dorm. I tell them no. Put me right back in Bravo. I want to go right back where the nigga that I fought with the tick the murder and the other two niggas that my homeboy fought. I'm going right back in there with them. Bitch, put me in there. I don't want to go over there with some niggas that I don't know. Put me in here right here where these wolves at. So they put me back in Bravo. So when they put me back in Bravo, I'm in there with the same niggas that I just fought now. The nigga who took the murder and the other two niggas, I ain't fighting those two niggas. My homeboy one block did. But now I'm by myself. And it's three of them and they still in there. So the nigga who I fought, he come to my cell. He said, bro, I can holler at you for a minute. I said, yeah. Now I'm gonna give this nigga credit, dog. The nigga never once acted soft. I swear to God, like never acted soft. The nigga never acted soft, bro. He always had the outlines of a real nigga, dog. He put it away. He was a gangster. He was just testing my gangster, and of course, it's either you got to stand up for your gangster, but uh, if me and him had not been into it, I probably would have liked him, and he probably would have liked me. Like the sometimes you get tried by fuck niggas, and sometimes you get tried by niggas who you respect their gangster. Like the things that they say, the way that they move, you don't see no it being an opposition to what you got going on, but you can tell this is not a fuck nigga. He just a gangster. So anyway, he came to my cell. I said, "What up, bro?" He said, "Bro, let me holler for me." I was like, "All right, come on." Came in. Now I could tell he done conceded to me that I'm at least somebody that's gonna go the distance with him if it get to that point. So he coming at me different now. He coming at me different from the time that he talked to me in the beanhole. And He say, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. He say, bro, you know I ain't even take your shit. I say, what? I say, you ain't take my shit. He say, hell no. Nah. He say, you asked me, and hey, look, I said, I didn't want to see what you was on, what you was about. I didn't want to see what you were pussy nigga or fuck nigga. So I just said what I said. He say, real. He say, but really, the white boy took your shit upstairs right there. The white boy that went to prison. I say, yeah. He say, that's who took your shit. Now, I don't know how true that is or whatever. I don't know if he just said that because I was out of lockdown now and he didn't want no more problems. I didn't really want no more problems either. The shit was going. I already had fought the nigga. Like, I already did 60 days about the shit. Fuck it. It is what it is. But that's what he came to my cell and that's what he told me, right? Uh, and we squashed it after that. Crazy part about that, at this time now I'm broke. You know what I'm saying? So I just went to running in the niggas' rooms. So if you was like a lame, or if you was like somebody who just got in jail, or somebody that I didn't know or have no respect for, I would run into your room. I would take your shit. I would go in your locker and I would take your shit. I'm a jit, you know what I'm saying? And I'm hungry. And, you know what I mean? Like, and I had them created some sort of fear with the other jits in there from what they had seen me do, and that's how it ended up working out or whatever. I ended up doing 6 months, and I ended up getting out. But before I get to the next part of the story, it is true. When you get in jail, you do have to um you do it, you know how they say swing on the first biggest dude, or make an example. Yeah, yeah, it's like that because had I not had one block and me had not broke out of lockdown and got into the fight with them dudes, it probably would have been bad for me. After I would have ended up doing them 30 days, they wouldn't have respected me like they did by me in one block going to the extreme, and they saw nobody have ever done that. We was juveniles. We broke out of lockdown and got into another fight. We basically escaped lockdown and got into another fight. And when even the inmates saw that, even the dude that was in there for attempted murder and all that shit, it let them know that we wasn't the people to be trying like that, because we gonna go to the extreme uh about us, about our shit, about our respect, about any of that type of shit. So that happened. So I ended up getting out of jail. But check this out, right? I got a juvenile warrant, right? Told y'all I had supposed to went to the program, but I violated by not being home. So them bitches took me to, instead of me getting out of the county, them bitches took me back to juvenile, and instead of them letting me out this time, I stayed in juvenile for about a week, and they sent me to a program. They sent me to a program called JRSS, Juvenile Residential Secure School. Guess what the program was at, y'all? Hit that like button. Hit that like button. This story time, Meritaboy. Y'all know I got the best stories, y'all. Y'all know I got the best stories, y'all. Guess what the program was at, y'all? Back at the county fucking jail. Bro, listen. I had just left 33rd Street Jail in Orlando, Florida. In there with the juveniles, right? But some kind of way, the juvenile system had made a program that was in the parking lot. Okay, put it this way. It was a, what they call this shit? A warehouse in on the property of the Orange County Jail. Some kind of way juvenile had done made a program for juveniles in that goddamn warehouse. Now, these were juveniles that had not been adjudicated as adults. I had already been adjudicated as an adult. I had just left from right in across the parking lot. Listen, bro, we in the same gate. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna take a step further than that. In a normal juvenile program, you have staff. You have juvenile staff. They are not COs. In that program, being that it was on Orange County property, it was COs that was the staff. Check this out, y'all. Not just any COs, the same COs that I had been my COs when I was in the juvenile part of the county. Like, I can't make this shit up. I can't make this shit up. So when I walked through the doors of the juvenile program, the COs saw me. They was like, "What the fuck is you doing here, nigga? We just was your CO a couple weeks ago when you was in when you was across the parking lot. They was my COs, bro. Listen, like, let me see, Babels, Martinez, Sutton, Solomon, Brother Bird, Avery. All of these COs was my COs when I was in the motherfucking juvenile side of the county. Like, I didn't even know that it was a program. I didn't even know that the juvenile system had a program on the property of the Orange County jail, but they did, and they put me in that motherfucker. Right now, at this time, I'm 17, going on 18. I turned 18. I turned 18 in now, right? So I'm the oldest person in the motherfucking program, y'all. It is kids in that is 13. It's kids in that is 14, 15, 16. And really, let me tell you really what was supposed to happen, y'all. Once I had been adjudicated as an adult, once I had already did county time, what juvenile was supposed to do was they were supposed to drop my charges, bro. The warrants that I had for failure to go into the program, they were supposed to drop them bitches, bro. But juvenile was so mad at me. They were so furious and so petty that I had ran from them for 2 years that them motherfuckers sent me to the program. Them motherfuckers sent me to the motherfucking program, and out they could have let me go. They could have let me go because I was an adult. I had already been in the county. There's no way I was supposed to go back to the juvenile system. You see what I'm saying? But, like, where was your parent asking? Oh, my parent, my mama was my mama was down south in Vero Beach where Melly them was at. My mom was down there doing whatever she was doing. You know what I mean? I told you my mama did drugs. And my daddy, I told y'all, I had been back to my daddy house in shit years. Like I told you, like when I went on the run, remember I told you that I was supposed to be at home at my daddy house, and I went back to the block, and they came by, and I wasn't there, so that's how they issued a warrant for me. I never went back there because I know that they go back there to see if you stand there, and that's how you go to jail. So I went on the run for 2 years. So I hadn't seen my daddy from 16 to 18. I might have hadn't seen my daddy but a couple times, and that might be me going through the hood in a crackhead car, seeing him on the blocks, or seeing him or riding past the house. Like, I'm telling you, like, I've been out on my own for a long time. Like, for real. Like, I'm telling you, like, and it wasn't just me. It was like a lot of my friends lived this same life too. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we was like real deal the children of the corn. So when I was in the county, remember when I told y'all that I was just in the county? I had one visit, y'all. My sister came to see me. My older sister came to see me once. I got no letters. My sister gave me sent me $50 one time. I got no visits, nothing. Like, I got no visits, no letters. I take that back. I had a homeboy that was in prison. No, he was in the county. He was in the county. He was in the county. I take that back. He was in the county, and he used to write me. He used to write me. You know what I'm saying? Like some of my homeboys that was in there with us, like we would write each other and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? He used to write me and shit like that. But I ain't had nobody. I ain't when nobody then nobody right, exactly, no guidance, right. So I end up in the juvenile program, right? So when I get in there, the same COs that was my COs from when I was in the county, they in that bitch too. So it's like a they shocked to see me, but check this out. Where they was nasty to me when I was in the county, they wasn't nasty to me when I was in the juvenile program. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because when I was in there in the juvenile program, I was in there with kids, bro. I wasn't a kid no more. I didn't behave like a kid. I didn't play. I didn't play basketball. And I was one of the tallest in there. I didn't wrestle. I didn't crack no jokes. A little bit, but not really. Because with kids, it's easy to get into something by the smallest shit. And they play a lot. They wrestle. They do a lot of kitty ass shit. And I went with that kitty ass shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm already maturing into a grown man, and I had already seen the next step as to where these kids would go if they didn't change their ways. They was where the next step for them is to go to where I just came from. So I was actually going backwards because I had unfinished criminal shit in the juvenile system. So anyway, um, the COs was nasty as fuck to the kids, but they weren't nasty to me because they kind of used me to keep the jits in check, and I took that as a because juvenile is it's like a they group punish everybody. So if these two people kids get in a fight, then everybody get in trouble. Nobody get to watch TV. Nobody get to play cards. Nobody get to use the phone. Nobody get to what I mean. This type of shit. So I didn't like that shit. So what I would do is I would try to keep the whole program. I ran the whole program. It wasn't that many people in there. It was like 20 some of us in there, right? So, but I kept everybody. I tried my best to keep everybody straight, right? And sometimes I would be able to, and sometimes I wouldn't, right? So it was a young kid named LaTony Jones, and he was funny. Shout out to Chanel Barnes. He was funny. He was he was like a comedian. I slept on the bottom bunk, and I forgot who slept over me, but LaTony slept on the bunk on the top bunk that was catty corners to me. So he slept to the right of me, but on the top bunk, right? And it was a white chick named Cersei. He my friend on Facebook right now. And we talk all the time about the olden times, but he was the youngest in there, a little white boy. And he was like very disturbed, like he would stay and get in trouble or whatever. He was young. He probably was about 12. You know what I'm saying? And I'm 7. I'm about 18. I done turned 18. So and Latoni was about 15, something like that. But he was real skinny, and they would I could rap. Back then I was in the middle of like rapping and shit. So they used to like to listen to me rap, and they used to like, and I was already in the streets. I had goals and everything. You know what I'm saying? I had gold teeth and everything. Like it was nobody had gold teeth in there but me. You know what I'm saying? So they looked it up to some of the shit that I had already done accomplished. Like so, um, and I knew some of them. I knew some of their peoples. I didn't know them, but I knew some of their kin peoples and shit like that. Now I didn't know none of the Tony people, but I knew where he was from and the neighborhood, and I knew some of we knew some of the same people. So Um, he was a nice kid, y'all. Like he used to crack jokes. He wasn't a fighter at all. I'm gonna give you a picture of how big he was. He probably was about 110, 115, and he probably was about 5'10". So he was slender. He was skinny, little. He wasn't big at all. I was tall. I was about 6'3" back then. I probably maybe like 185, something like that. So I was tall, lanky. You know what I mean? I probably was like the tallest kid in there, and which I wasn't so much as a kid anymore. But I remember Latoni used to hang off his bunk, and he was just listen to me tell stories, and he always had like this smile on his face, and he always would get into it with the little white boy named Seriously, the one that I told you my friend on Facebook, and they would crack jokes on each other, and they would like get mad and get into arguments every now and then, but they would not. It was not nothing never violent, and Tony never got into no fights or nothing like that. And he was just he was a comedian. He was like the funny kid in there, right? So I liked him. You know what I'm saying? And um, I ended up getting out of the program in 4.5 months. I only got in trouble one time in there for talking in Mr. Amy class, and I got out the program the fastest anybody ever got out of the program. Partly because I was mature and I was an adult, a young adult, and I just knew I just had already been through worse systems, and the COs knew me, and they looked out for me. Like I got to stay up late, I got to eat extra food, and all I had to do was keep the kids in line. So it was like I was pretty much like a chaperone, like a babysitter for the other kids. I wouldn't snitch them out, but I would make sure that they didn't get caught doing nothing, no bullshit that was gonna get us fucked up. And when they would be trying to get into fights and shit, I would keep the fights from happening so that we wouldn't all get in no trouble and no shit like that, right? So I get out the program, y'all, and hold on, let me go back. At my table, we ate at the same table every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? At my table, it was Latony Jones, it was a jit named Rontavious Wilson, it was uh, a jit named Bronson Aaron, and it was me, and it was a jit named Steve Dorsey, right? Steve Dorsey came from a family of dope dealers. My cousin actually shot Steve Dorsey brother in the stomach. He didn't die, but my cousin did end up going on and killing somebody, and he doing life in prison right now. But me and Steve is real cool. Like we ain't friends or nothing like that now, cause we done grew up, and I ain't seen him in a while. But we was cool. We cool. Like we never had no problems. I still, if I see him today, I still fuck with him. He still fuck with me or whatever, whatever. Bronson in high school is from the same neighborhood. I mean, Latoni, they from the same neighborhood. They from a neighborhood called Motown, Washington Shores in Orlando, Florida. Rontavious, this was one of the nicest fucking kids you ever want to meet. Rontavious was from, I can't remember where Rontavious was from, but he hustled. Remember I told y'all earlier, if y'all watched that first video that I told y'all earlier, where me and my homeboy went down on Colonial and Westmoreland to hustle because George told us to come down there and he was gonna look out for us. Well, Rontavious hustled down there. He hustled on Colonial and Westmoreland. And he knew me. He knew me from the streets. I didn't remember him from the streets, but he knew me. And that's how me and him hit it off. He started talking to me. He was like, "Yeah, yeah, Lil Pico, you from Beirut? Yeah, I know you. You be with da 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 da." And we started talking, and that's how he was able to befriend each other. We was able to befriend each other. So he started sitting at my table, and bro, let me tell y'all something. Ron Tavis was one of the nicest dudes I ever met in my life, bro. And I can't. He was not. He wasn't a. To me, he wasn't a street dude. To me, he wasn't as greedy, as less fortunate as he wasn't like us. Like we had done been hardened from the things that we've been through, from the ups and downs from a parent smoking drugs or from a daddy selling drugs or from the living outside or from the harsh realities of the hood. Ron Tavis wasn't like that. Ron Tavis was like somebody that lived in the suburbs that decided to come hang in the hood. But he was a juvenile with us. I'm gonna tell you, I'm bringing all this up at my who was at my table. You're gonna see where this matters as the story unfolds, right? So, um, I end up getting out the program. Hold on, let me rewind. My baby mama, uh, I had ended up getting my baby mama pregnant, the same one that passed away. I ended up getting her pregnant before I actually went to the county. So around this time, um, she's showing now because I told you I did like 6 months in the county. Then they took me to the juvenile program. Well, actually, I didn't do 6 months. I did like five and a half or something like that. But I ended up taking a 6 month plea. But however it worked out, by the time that I ended up almost about ready to get out the program, she was almost ready to have the baby. And the chick say was my father. This is where this coming important at. In order to get out of juvenile program, your parents have to be somewhat involved in your life. You cannot get out of a juvenile program if your parents do not participate in some of the things that they have because they want to make sure that you're going home to a home, but also to a stable environment. So in order for me to get out the program, my daddy had to come to the program a couple times in order to sit down with my counselors and uh he actually had to go through some of the shit that they had us going through, like anger management or some shit like that. He had to sit in there with me, and they just wanted to make sure that I had somebody that a home, somewhere to go, like you know what I mean. And they wanted to, they just ain't gonna juvenile ain't like the kind of where they just release you to the streets. No, they got to know where you going. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. You know what I mean? So my daddy had to come, and my daddy used to come. My daddy used to bring my baby mama, so because they knew that I had a baby on the way. So she used to come sometimes. She's big and pregnant, got a stomach big and everything. And a week before I got out of the program, my baby mama had a stillborn. She had a stillborn. Um, so my baby mama that passed, me and her have a daughter that passed. Uh, and the reason why I call it stillborn because y'all know anything over a certain amount of months is not a miscarriage. So this baby was like ah 9 months, 8 months and some change. Like she was getting ready to have this baby, but a week before I got out of the program, she had a stillborn. So when I got out of the program, I ended up having to yeah, it's cool, it's cool. Appreciate you, Janelle. So when I got out of the program, I ended up having to go straight from being released to a week later going to my baby daughter's funeral. Yep. And my baby mama already had a daughter before that. My baby mama had a daughter really young. She had a daughter like 15, something like that. And then she got pregnant from me. She was 17, I was 18, and our baby died a week before I got out of the program. So anyway, I was broke. I had no money. And my baby mama's family, my mama and her father, they paid for the service or whatever. It was a sad thing. It was okay. It was my first kid. I ended up having two more kids from her, but it was my first kid. But it was sad because I so much wanted to have uh a baby at that time. You know what I'm saying? And it would have been my first daughter. You know what I'm saying? So it was she died. This was 2000, so she would have been 24 now, 24. Yeah, she'd have been 24 now. So, um, but it wasn't as sad for me as it was for her because she carried the baby all those months and stuff. And I that's when I realized that it's a different type of feeling when a mother loses a child like that, you know, than if a father. I didn't get a chance to bond. Once the baby would have got here and I would have got a chance to bond, it would have been a different story. But for a mother, she carries the child all of those months, all of those hormones, envisioning what the baby gonna look like, envisioning raising her, this and that, there and then for it to happen like that. So it was sad. I held her when we went to the funeral. She cried, and I held her. I held her the whole time, and I felt kind of fucked up because I had no means, like I had no money, like I didn't have no money, like you know what I mean, like I just got out. Even though I was only 18, it still felt like I should have had some money. It felt like I didn't like having people. I didn't like letting her people take care of that situation. I just felt like I should have been able to take care of that or whatever. But anyway, we lost our daughter, and I get released, and just so happened when I got released, it was a dope shortage. And if you ever, this was 2000. You know what I'm saying? So if you're in there, y'all know anything about dope shortages, it's the best time in the streets. I swear to God, dope shortages are like Christmas because even though ain't nobody got no drugs, if you can find some drugs, you can charge so much for a little bit, right? And a lot of people come up during these times. So my daddy was still doing his thing, and I went back and I stayed at my daddy's house because now I ain't got no warrants or nothing. I'm clear, you know what I'm saying. And my baby mama, she is she is coming across town every day to be at her grandmother's house, and my baby mama grandmother sold dope too. I told y'all, like I like everybody sold dope. Like everybody, like my dad and my brother, like everybody know he. And my baby mama, she hustled as well. My baby mama sold weed and she sold dope too. This is at 17. So when I when when I the day of the funeral, let me tell y'all something before I go too far. The day of the funeral for me and my baby mama's baby, I went to my baby mama's house to change because I didn't have a car, nothing. So I'm riding to the funeral of our baby with my baby mama and her mama, her stepdaddy, and the family, right? So I put on my clothes. I go in my baby mama room. She's still living with her mom at this time. She's 17, and I put on my clothes in the room, and we go to the funeral. So after the funeral, whatever, my baby mama tell me that her mama's boyfriend didn't like the fact that I put on my clothes in my baby mama's room. And I know my baby mama uh stepdaddy. He from the hood. He from the same block that my daddy and them from. He used to work with my daddy. Like it ain't like we all know each other. You see what I'm saying? Like he a dope dealer too. Like he family too. Like you know what I'm saying? But he just acted green when it came to that household. You know what I'm saying? Like he was a different person on the block. Now he would have never said nothing to me. He never said nothing to me, period. But he would have never said nothing to me on the streets in front of my daddy or anything. But what he did was he would tell my baby mama, and my baby mama would put pressure on my girl, and it would be some shit. So she told me that he didn't like the fact that I put on my clothes in my baby mama room. Hold on, player. First of all, we finna get ready to go to a funeral of our daughter. Second of all, what the fuck you think we fucking in here? You know what I'm saying? Nick, we finna get ready to go to bury our daughter. You know what I'm saying? So my baby mama kind of got upset about that. And they used to give us so much drama about fucking with me till she decided to start staying across town at her grandmama house to where she could see me. You know what I'm saying? So me and her could be together more often. And sometimes we would get hotels and, we would go and lay up and, what I mean, make love and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like we was grown. I tell you, like we was grown, bro. Like she was 17 and I was 18. So her mom and them got mad at her and she told me about it, and I told her, I say, I tell you what, I say, don't worry about it. You ain't gonna you don't never have to go back over there never again. You ain't gonna never have to go. You don't gotta never go back to your mama house. And I say just give me a couple weeks. You ain't gonna never go back over there. And I said that because I didn't like her having to go through all of that just to be with me. And I felt like they was wrong for doing her like that because we already had a fucking child. Like we had a baby that we just buried. Like, you know what I mean? Like like she already got a daughter. She got a daughter that's not even my daughter. And we got another baby that she just buried. Like this, like I understand she's 17, but my baby mama was selling dope, weed, all of that shit at her grandmama house. Her mama knew it, her daddy knew it, her grandmama knew it. Like the grandma sold dope, the stepdaddy sold dope, I sold dope, my daddy sold dope, my brother sold dope. Like everybody from the same block. Everybody sold dope right there in front of everybody. Like it was nothing. Like nobody hid nothing. If you ain't got it, yeah, Toya got it. If you ain't got it, yeah, Meritaboy got it. If you ain't got it, yeah. So it was like crazy. Like we was already grown. So I never forget. I end up finding some work. Of course, my daddy had all kind of plugs, all kind of Haitians. My daddy faced Gator, so my dad could get anything he want, and a lot of people would give me and my brother shit on the strength of my daddy because they know if we didn't pay, my daddy was gonna pay, and he would do that. Like sometimes say we fuck up. Sometimes the plug will give us some shit, give us a couple ounces, we might do good for a little bit, then we'll fuck it up. My dad always pay for us. Now he'd be mad as shit, but he always pay for us and shit like that. So um and we would have good intentions of doing the right thing, but we was just young and just didn't know how to do with money and shit like that. So anyway, I ended up getting a couple ounces from a Haitian that my daddy knew, and I never forget. I got 2 ounces, and I cut up. I want to say I cut up like 38 balls. That $100 slabs, 3.15, and it was the shortage was booming so much till I sold 38 balls in one night. I would lay on my daddy couch and people would knock on the door and they would knock on the door. They'd be like, let me get three. I'll give them three. They'll give me $300. I would take the money and I would throw up under the cushion of the couch and I would go back to sleep because I'm sleepy. I'm tired. Somebody knock on the door again. Let me get four. I give them four. They'll give me $400. I close the door again, throw the $400 up under the cushion of the couch. I sold 38 balls in one night, right? When I woke up in the morning, all the money was like up under the cushion, right? Or the couch I'm sleeping on. I took all the money, worked it up in a pile, and I counted it. I didn't know how much money I had. I just know I didn't have no more dope, and I just knew I had all the money. So I counted the money, $3,000. So I ended up paying the Haitian because back then ounces wasn't $1,000. They was maybe like 750, something like that. So I ended up paying the Haitian his $1,500, and I took uh the other 1,500 that I had made, and I went and bought my own work, and I bought a $1,500 cookie, and I did the same thing the next night. But now I don't owe nobody; it's all my money, and I made $3,000 again, and then I took $1,500 and I gave it to my baby mama. She is at her grandmama house, which is right across the street. And I took $1,500 and I gave it to my baby mama. And I told her I wrapped it up in a rubber band. And I told her, you hold this and put it up. And I did the same thing. And I just kept doing that. Kept doing it. Every time I would get $1,000 or the profit, I would wrap it up in a rubber band and I would give it to her. So about 30 days later, I remember, because she had been staying at her grandma's house. Now she was selling nickel bags of weed at this time too. She's selling nickel bags of weed and she making her little money. My baby mama always was a hustler, and to be honest with you, she was a better hustler than me. She's a woman or was a girl, so she didn't have all the vices and shit that niggas have. You know what I'm saying? She was a much better hustler than me. I ain't gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real. And I asked her, I said, how much money? I said, how much money we got enough? She said, you don't know how much money now? I said, no. I said, I just didn't give you the money. She say, "You got $10,000 in there." I said, "We got $10,000 in there." She said, "Yeah." I say, "Oh, call Andre and tell him to give us that apartment upstairs right there." So the rent man in the hood name was Andre, right? Andre worked for a dude named Katie Lewis, but Andre uh was the manager of the properties for the slumlord Katie Lewis. But Andre was hood like us. You know what I'm saying? This is still back in the days where the rent man came around. This is 2000. So the rent man came, Andre came around, and you can get Andre cash. You know what I'm saying? Like Andre came and collected cash. You can give Andre payments, all type of shit. So Andre um actually liked my baby mama's mama. And he liked my baby mama, and he was my daddy's rent man, and he was my baby mama's grandmama's rent man. He was everybody's rent man. So um I told my baby mama, I say, tell Andre to give us that apartment. We want that apartment upstairs right there on South and Lee. She said, okay. She told Andre. Andre gave us the apartment. You know what I'm saying? We took some of the money. I'm not. I don't think it was that much money to move in, bro. I probably maybe 800. I think the rent was maybe like $500 a month, some shit like that. But so remember, we gave him $1,000, and we moved into the apartment. She was 17. I was 18. We moved in, and she had a daughter. Her daughter was born in '97, so her daughter was 98, 99. So her daughter like 3 years old at the time, 3, 4 years old. She grown now, which is my daughter too. I just like to let everybody know that she had a daughter before me. I took 2,500 of the money and I bought a car. I bought a 1991 Caprice Classic because we didn't have no car. You know what I'm saying? And we was off. 17 years old. 17 years old. We had our own apartment, and we had our own car. And we would be honest with you, we was living better than her mama and her daddy. The same motherfuckers that had put her out. I got joy out of them seeing her ride by in my car or our car, go up to her own apartment, you know what I'm saying, with her own boyfriend, her own, baby. And we was living. We was living, you know what I'm saying? And she ended up dying a couple years ago, but you know what I'm saying? I just went to that part. But anyway, back to what I really want to say. So I end up going to Colonial and Westmoreland because uh I was serving. I was serving, so I would sometimes. By this time, I got weight. I told y'all I got weight now, so I would pull up on some people, and I pull up on some niggas that I know down there, and I'm serving them. So I noticed that one of the homeboys that I had at the table with me, Run Tavis, he down there serving, right? He done got out the program. He down there serving, right? Also, I see Lil Tony down there. The same little um funny little kid, skinny little boy that was over the bump over cattle corners to me and sat at my table. 110 pounds, 5'10", looked like he wouldn't bust a grape. I see him down there. I say, what's up? What's up? What's up, little Tony? He said, man, my name high school. I say, man, I don't give a fuck about all that shit that, cause when you know somebody like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, man, nigga, your name little Tony Jones, nigga. You know what I mean? You're like, man, Pico stop, man, don't tell the nigga my name. I was like, all right, bro, all right, high school, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So he come up to me, we give each other doubt, he give each other hugs and shit. But I look in his eyes, y'all. Let me tell y'all something, bro. I can't explain it to y'all, but I done seen that look a lot of times, bro. It's like when a boy from the streets turn into like a man. It's like when they don't play no more. And this is one of the plannest, this was one of the plannest, happy-go-luckiest, cracky, jokiest kids that I ever met. And I call him a kid because he's a kid. When I met him, like 15. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm like 19 going on 20. And I see him down there and he ain't cracking no more jokes. He ain't laughing like he used to laugh when we was in the program. And I know what he doing down here. He hustling. Matter of fact, I asked one of the niggas that I put him on, like, what's up with high school? Oh man, shit, high school out here. He out here. What bro? They say he was robbing people and all type of shit. And I'm like, what? I'm like, this jit right here. The same jit that I slept beside in the program. The same jit that wouldn't bust a motherfucking grape. Him, he robbing people, shooting people, all type of shit. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. So I just, it's such as life. So I go on. I get a phone call a couple months later. My homeboy Rontavious Wilson, the one that I told you, um, looked like he was a suburb kid that just ended up coming to the hood. He get killed on Colonial and Westmoreland as well. He gets shot in the head down there. I can't remember. I think they say he got into it with a nigga down there, and the nigga came back and shot him in the head. That one hurt me, bro, because he was not. He wouldn't bust a grape, bro. Some people be too nice for the streets, y'all. I promise y'all, it's some people that is too nice for the streets, and when you be too nice, you become food, bro. You know what I'm saying? You need some sense of fear. You know what I'm saying? Like you need some sense of it's gonna be some consequences and repercussions about me if you fuck with me. And that's why I don't like to toot my own horn or try to be like the realest nigga in the streets and none of that shit like that. But that's why I be trying to tell people, bro. I'm over 40 years old, bro. I'm from one of the roughest parts of Orlando, Florida. When y'all hear me sitting here talking and all of this shit, how you think y'all think I motherfucking lived and survived all that long time and was soft? I'm just reporting to y'all back to what it was. If y'all think that the killers and the people that'll fuck you up all talk like y'all sadly mistaken. That shit just TV shit. Them motherfuckers talk like me. Them motherfuckers talk like the shit you see on TV. Them motherfuckers talk like anybody, normal people. That shit you see on TV, the shit that you see these niggas portraying on the internet and the rapping and all of that shit fool Jay-Z. That shit is an act. Real deal motherfuckers that'll do something to you. It is no pattern is the how they come across and all of that shit there. I never killed nobody, but I promise you I could have. I really was there. I really lived it. I really seen it. I really been there. Know what I'm saying? For real. And I ain't glorifying nothing. I'm just reporting this shit to tell y'all what it is and what it ain't and tell you to go another way. And I ain't claiming to be the realest motherfucker in the world and all this shit, but I'm just telling you, I'm just telling you what my life, y'all. That's all I'm telling you. I can't tell you about the suburbs. I wish I could. I can't tell you about Bel Air. I wish I could. I never wanted to be from the streets, period. I wish I never grew up in that shit. I never seen that shit. I wish I was Carlton off of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I would be fucking happy. But that wasn't the card that I was dealt. So I can only tell y'all what I know. You know what I'm saying? And for anybody that thinking that it ain't what I'm telling you, Man, hey, 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 believe what you want to believe, man. I ain't trying to prove shit to nobody. I'm just telling y'all these stories so that y'all can use them as lessons or cautionary tales. So anyway, Rontavious get killed, got shot in the head, got into it with his name Rontavious Wilson. Y'all want to look him up? It's probably on the internet somewhere. But he got shot in the head. He got killed by a nigga down there on Westmoreland and Colonial. And he used to be at my table in the program with me. And that shit hurt me, dog, because I really liked Rontavious. And I saw no bad in it. I feel like he was out of place. I feel like he shouldn't have been hustling. I feel like he was just, some people come to the hood and some people indulge in the hood and street shit, but it's not the right place for them. And it's just be sad when people in the streets or the streets take them because most of the time they didn't have to do that shit. Like the dude that killed Ron Tavis didn't have to kill him. He didn't have a pistol. He wasn't a rah rah type of guy. I think they say the dude got mad that Ron Tavis was actually hustling down on Colonial and or hustling in that area on that strip or whatever. And I think he tried to make Rontavious leave, and Rontavious, pretty much stayed hustling down there. So he um he shot Rontavious, killed him, and he shot him in the head. But this is the same spot where I saw Lil Tony at, and I actually had a hustle down there too, because I told y'all in the previous live that George had a hotel on Colonial and Westmoreland at the hotel across from the 7-Eleven. It's still there right now. And but I say I never had these problems, y'all. But that's why I say like I never killed nobody. I never did like no shit like that. But I'm telling you, I think what saved me, I think my family had such a big reputation, and I think that shit carried a lot. I'm telling you, like my daddy and my family had such a name, and I got so many kin people. I got so many family members to where if you don't know me, you know some of my family. You might not be cool with me, but you cool with some of my family members, or you might got respect for my daddy, or you know what I'm saying. It was just I had so many passes due to my family affiliation. I promise y'all, even with polices and I told y'all COs. I had a cousin that's CO. I got a cousin that's a bondsman. Like I promise y'all, bro. Like I definitely benefited from being a part of my family and my daddy being who he was. But anyway, years go by, and I end up seeing high school at a store on Colonial and Hiawassee. I was living in apartments called Misty Oaks behind Colonial and Hiawassee, and I used to walk up to the little Arab store, and I saw little Tony High School in the store. He didn't see me, so this is years later. This is years later, y'all. But I had already heard stories about high school over the years. The Tony Jones. I had already heard stories of he was a robber. He wasn't a hustler. He was a robber. And I told y'all in the streets, people turn into different things. People turn into different things. And he had turned into a robber. And I used to hear stories, and hey, he wasn't nothing to be fucked up with. Like he was like that was his thing. He had done got good at it. He was known for it. He had people had fear. He had fear. People feared him. I never feared him because, first of all, our relationship wasn't like that. And we always respect each other. He always liked me, I always liked him. That's why I keep trying to tell y'all. Like when these peoples that do these things, other people be afraid of them. But to us, them is our friends. Them is our associates. Them is our homeboys, family members. So when I go in the store, he don't see me. He got his back turned to the thing. So I grab him. I grab him from behind. I grab him from behind. I say, I got you on her foot, nigga. I got you. Right? So he go to squirming. He go to squirming. He trying to get out my grill. So I let him go. He said, boy, look, Pico. He said, boy, you better stop that shit, bitch. You better stop that shit. He said, bitch, you almost got shot. You almost got shot. I say, bitch, you ain't gonna shoot me, bitch. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, like, I say, bitch, you wasn't gonna shoot me, bitch. He said, bitch, if I ain't know who you was, I would have shot you. I say, bitch, whatever. I said, what's up? He like, what's up? So now the we done he done settled down. We back. We cracking jokes and shit up. I say, boy, what's going on with you, boy? You still on your same one too? Pretty much me asking him, is he still robbing? Because it looked like he not. It looked like he working or something. So he like, nah, man, I gave that shit up, my nigga. He like, I gave that shit up, my nigga. I done changed my life, my nigga. I'm like, that real, dog. That real. You know what I'm saying? But he growed up now. He in this. I don't want to say how old he was because I can't remember exactly how old he was. But he done growed up now. And he telling me that he don't do that shit no more. He telling me that you know, he living a normal, straight, above board life, right? So I'm like, that's what's up, my nigga. At that time, I was working. I was out of the streets at that time as well. And I think I was a construction foreman at the time. And I was just happy to see him, you know what I'm saying? And we talked for a little bit, and then I went on, walked on back to my apartments because my apartments was right behind the Arab store. If you know anything about Orlando, Florida, Misty Oaks is right behind that store right there. You could walk to that bitch. I mean, it's only thing that's separating is a gate, and that was the last time I saw him. A couple months later, I see his picture go across Facebook. LaTony Jones murdered, and I just sat down on the couch, dog, and I just looked at the picture, dog, and I just like started crying, like not like boohoo crying, but just like tears just started just coming down my eyes because I started reminiscing back when he was that little 15-year-old kid that I slept next to when I was in the program, that I used to tell stories about, shit that I've been through in the streets, or try to keep him from getting into trouble in the program, or rapping for him. So because he used to tell me, man, rap that song, rap that song that you had rap, man, y'all rap that, what he can rap. And I used to rap for him and shit like that. To me, seeing him on Colonial and Westmoreland, and me seeing him turn into what I saw him turn into. Then for me to run into him years later at the store, and for him to tell me that he had changed his life and that he wasn't doing that shit no more. And then for me to then see his picture run across Facebook that he was dead. So, of course, I make a couple phone calls because I want to know what happened to him. And this is the story, y'all. This is the story. This is a sad story, bro. So it is said that he robbed. Okay, this is the story. I don't know how true this is, but this is the story of what happened to him. They say he knew somebody. Like he knew a drug dealer. I don't know if it was somebody that was cool with him or what, but he doubled back and broke into the guy's house and robbed the guy's house. But just so happened the guy's girlfriend or wife or something was there. So I guess he tied the lady up, and I don't know if he pistol whipped the lady. I don't want to exaggerate or make nothing, of what I don't know. But some kind of way he robbed somebody, a drug dealer that he knew. You know what I'm saying? Like he knew him, like they were supposed to be cool, and then he doubled back and robbed the man. The man wasn't there, but the man old lady was there, and he ended up robbing him. The guy ended up going to prison. The guy who house he robbed ended up going to prison and doing time. So little Tony went on with his life, right? So when the dude got out of prison, he came looking for little Tony, right? For high school. This is the nickname high school. And they say he was asking everybody, do you know high school? You know high school? You know high school? You know high school? Say everybody say nope, 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 nope. Nobody would tell him where high school was or nothing like that. Till one day the dude ran into a crackhead and paid the crackhead and asked him did he know high school, Latoni. And they say, this is the story they told me. They say he told him, yeah, he lived right there. And he told him where he lived. They say the dude saw and waited. And the dude saw high school. And he saw high school go to the house. So now he know where high school stay. And I think they say like a day or so later, the dude was waiting outside in his car for high school to show up. They say high school showed up to his house, and I think it was he had a kid with him. He had like a little girl or a little boy. I can't remember what it was, but it was a little baby, maybe no older than 5 or 6, or something like that. The baby, however the baby was, the baby was able to walk. So they say when high school got to the front door with the little kid, the dude who was looking for him appeared with the gun, drew down on high school, and he told him, "You already know what this is." And they say high school looked at him, and they say high school told him, "Man, just let the kid go in the house, man." The dude say, "Okay." High school opened the front door and let the little kid. I don't know if it was a boy or a girl. I can't remember, but he let the little kid go in the house. The dude that came to kill high school let the little kid who was with high school go in the house because they say that's the only thing high school requested. He say, "Look, man, just do me a favor. Let the kid go in the house, man." And the man said, "Okay." He let the kid go in the house, and they say as soon as that kid went in that house, all you heard was gunshots. Pow, 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 pow. He killed high school right there on the doorstep. Killed him, dead. And that was the end of Latona Jones. The same little kid that I had met in the program when he was 15 years old. The same little kid that I had saw hustling on Colonial and Westmoreland. The same kid that I grabbed in the store when we had become adults and was joking around with him. He told me that he was done with that life. He had done changed his life. He had done gave that shit up. And a couple months later, he was murdered on his doorstep for some shit that he did years ago because the dude had went to prison. The dude had went to prison, you know? That's a true story, y'all. Lil Tony Jones. If anybody from Orlando, his nickname was High School. And that's how he got murdered. He was my friend. He was my friend. I knew him since he was 15. He's younger than me. He started in the streets after me. When he met me, I had already been in the streets, been to the county, been doing time, had already, you know what I mean? All type of shit. When I met him, he was a kid. and he got murdered. He was nothing like, as a 15-year-old kid, he was nothing like the person that he grew into be. You could not tell me from when I met him at 15 years old that he would grow up to be a robber. You couldn't tell me that. You couldn't tell me that. I didn't know what he was going to be, honestly, but I felt like he had all the potential in the world to be anything other than that. You couldn't have told me that that little skinny kid was going to grow up to be a robber. So that's why I try to tell y'all, man. I know so many people that's done been murdered, dog. Like, I know so many people that's done been murdered, like real deal murder. And that's why I did this story time, because as I was listening to the previous live that I did earlier this evening, and I was thinking about George, and I was thinking about all the people that I know that got murdered, and I told y'all I was gonna do a story time later on today, and I just felt like talking, and I had like a lot of stuff going through my mind. I was like, man, I don't gotta wait till tomorrow to tell them a story time. I got so many people that I know that got murdered. Like, I could do this shit for 30 days and 30 nights, man. So yeah, that was rest of heaven to high school of Tony Jones, my friend. Um, I'm glad that the guy let the kid go into the house. That was Lil Tony's only request. And the guy ended up killing Lil Tony for some shit that he did, you know? Like, that's I mean, like, that's the story, you know? And I'm gonna take it a step further than this. The guy that killed Lil Tony, he didn't do no time for killing Lil Tony either. Um, if I'm not mistaken, he either beat the murder or it was nobody that would testify against him. But the guy that killed Lil Tony did not do time for killing Lil Tony. Yeah. So the guy that killed him did not. He's not in prison for life for killing Lil Tony or nothing like that, or nothing like that. That's how people know the story. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all one more story about a kid that I met. Um, and this one here was kind of like sad as fuck. So when I was construction foreman, I was not even in the streets at this time, y'all. I had done semi-retired. I ended up going back to the streets after this because I ended up falling on some hard times. But I had semi-retired, and when I was a construction foreman, I had ran into some guys that I work with, um, and they were from not my hood. They were from Ivy Lane. That's another hood on the west side of Orlando, but it's a good little distance from my hood. But we hit it off. We was cool. So the dude, I used to get a dude rides. Nope, I take that back. This was before I even had a car. I didn't have a car at this time, and we used to ride with a guy named Squash from Richmond Heights. That's Armstrong, them hood or whatever. If y'all know anything about Orlando, Florida. And the guy was related to Squash. So I hit it off with Squash and the guy, right? And we used to smoke weed and shit. And the guy ended up introducing me to his son, right? His son was probably about, the guy was young, bro. He probably was how old I was, let me see, 2000. Well, I might have been about 31, 32, somewhere up in there. So the guy had to be around maybe a little older than me, man. Maybe 33, 34. But regardless of what, he had a son. And when we used to drop him off home from work, his son sold weed. So I started. He told me his son had weed. So I used to be buying weed from his son. Like, and his son, where they lived at, they lived in the projects, but you could tell the son had just started being in the streets. Like he didn't hang with no. When I first met the son, he wasn't like flashy. He didn't have like no clothes and shit like that. He was just like a regular young jit that just started like hustling. And I wasn't in the streets no more, but I used to, when you're from the streets and you see, sometimes you'll meet kids or jits, and you'll take a liking to them because they'll remind you of someone or they'll remind you of yourself, and you respect it. Even though you didn't understand it or you didn't, you wouldn't have your kid let your kid do it. Sometimes, let me tell you something. Some kids gonna be street kids, man. Some kids is gonna do what they gonna do, and they gonna be what they gonna be, regardless of whatever you try to teach them or whatever, whatever. And that's just how it is. And I got a feeling that this boy was like that. The daddy worked with me, but the boy, he sold weed. He sold weed at their house. So I used to buy weed from the little boy. I give him some weed and I go home. You know what I'm saying? Like, the boy was probably, he was over 18, y'all. He was maybe around 18. He was an adult, but just barely. He wasn't no high school jit. He was older than that, but he might have been about 18, 19, bro. Somewhere up in the 18, 19. So anyway, uh as as the months went by, I started buying weed from him more and more often because his house wasn't that far from where I lived at. And I used to drive and buy weed sometimes on the weekends and shit like that. And I liked it buying weed from Jit because first of all, I knew his daddy. So sometimes his daddy would be there and me and him would chop it up and we'll smoke a blunt. And I liked it legit, man. I liked it legit. His name was Freak. And I liked him. You know what I'm saying? And I started talking to him, and I would tell him little pieces of game and shit like that. But he was in the streets. I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? I had done retired, but I liked him. And I remember he used to come by my house sometime, and sometimes I call him for some weed and shit, and he'll be like, "Bro, he'll be like, oh, I'm sliding. I can pull up on you." I'll be like, "All right." So he pulled up on me, and he'll come to my house. So he knew me, he knew my girlfriend. Like it was like one of them deals. Like he came to sell me weed, but we was closer than just that. It was like we was like family. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I knew his daddy. Like this shit went on for like a year's time or something like that. So we had done got really, really cool. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew his mama, shit like that. So um I never forget it was the classic. And I called him and he came by my house. And it was him and his daddy. Now, Jit that done powered up. He had done turned from that young Jit that I had first started seeing selling weed. For now, he got the newest J's on. He got the glasses on. He got the nice hairdo. He got the grill to the bottom. He got the drop six to the bottom. You know what I'm saying? He got the clothes. He looking good. He looking good. And I'm liking. I'm loving it. You know what I'm saying? I'm loving it. I'm like, well, look at my boy. Look at my boy. So when he come in my house, I say, boy, I see you, Jit. I see you. You know what I'm saying? I'm like giving him his props. I'm like, yeah, boy, I see you. Like, boy, it brought back memories. But I was congratulating him and letting him know that I see you, Jed. I see you. You doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying, with the money. You looking good. You going up. I see you. It's like it's from the people from the streets, from the hood. It's like me saying I'm proud of you. It's like me congratulating him. You know what I'm saying? So He like, man, I appreciate that. OG gave me a hug, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, sold me my little weed that he sold me. His daddy sitting there. His daddy looking clean too. It's the classic. I asked him, I said, what y'all finna get into? He said, man, we finna go out here and get on these hoes, man. I'm like, all right, now I got my girl there. So, bitch, I ain't doing nothing. I'm not in the streets no more. I'm a weekend warrior. I smoke a little weed and go to work on the weekdays and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So they leave my house. They leave my house. If y'all know anything about the Florida Classic is always the weekend before Thanksgiving in November. It's where Bethune-Cookman College and Florida A&M, the Rattlers, play each other, and that's called the Florida Classic, right? Orlando be thick as fuck that weekend. That's like the best weekend to go to Orlando. That bitch be so thick. I'm telling you, like everybody be there. People from all Miami, everybody come to Orlando at that time. So anyway, that's what this was, the Florida Classic. So I go on and chill with my girl, and Thanksgiving finna get ready to roll around. I can't remember if it was the Thanksgiving or the day before Thanksgiving or what. But my girl, she was sitting laying beside me in bed. She say, "Is this your friend right? Ain't this your homeboy, your friend right here?" I looked at the picture, and it was my dog. It was my homeboy Freak, the little boy. He had done got murdered, bro. He got murdered. Now that one hurt. Now that one really hurt because I knew his daddy, I knew his mama, I knew his cousin, the boy that we was catching rides with and shit. And we were just at my house. The classic is less than a week. Thanksgiving mostly be on a Thursday. The classic was less than a week prior. He was in my house sitting on my couch. And my girl say, ain't this your friend right here? And I seen this picture on Facebook, and he had got murdered. I cried for that one. I cried for that one because he was a boy. He was a kid. I don't think Freak was 22. I don't think he grew up to be. I don't think he was 21. I got to double check. Don't make me lie. But I don't remember. So I called his daddy. They crying. They sad. Um, and I'm sad too. I'm crying too. Like that shit fucked me up because he was just at my house not 4 days prior. Like I had text messages in my phone from him. Me and him talking. Now, matter of fact, if I go through my old message on Facebook, I got messages from him. You know what I'm saying? And he fucking was dead. So, of course, I do my 1, 2 like I do every time somebody get killed. I call around. What happened? They say he was at his in the projects in his apartments where he was the only person that served in that breezeway. Like, you know what I mean? He had that bitch sold up, you know what I'm saying? And everybody loved him. Like he had no enemies or nothing. And it was a young girl that he was talking to that she lived in one of the apartments, and they say he was at her window and she was inside of her house and he was talking to her in the window. And they say a car pulled up and asked, and I asked, you know, for some weed or whatever. So they say he walked over to the car. Say when he walked over to the car, he go to talking to him. And this is the story from the girl who was, because her window was, right there. She could hear what was going on. And say he went to talking to the people. Say they got into like a semi sort of argument, and then he started walking off. And they say when he started walking off, you hear the shots ring out. I don't remember how many times he got shot, but they shot him and they drove off. She said she never saw who was in the car or nothing like that, but he ended up dying. His daddy came outside and his daddy held him in his arms and he took his last breath looking into his daddy's eyes. The same daddy that worked with me, the same daddy that had just been over my house with him a couple days prior, and he died. He got killed. His name was Freak from Ivy Lane, and he probably was in the streets 3 years tops. Like, you know what I'm saying, and I'm just saying 3 years. I'm just gonna give him an account from a little bit before the time that I met him, because I could tell when I met him he didn't have no money. But from the time that I met him, from the time that he died, I could tell that he had done powered up. He had done started getting money. He had done changed, started, dressing and had clothes and dropping gold teeth and shit like that. So I'm gonna just give him a little bit of time before I met him and say that he probably went in the streets 3 years and he ended up getting murdered. And his murder is unsolved to this day. Don't nobody know who killed Freak. I don't know who killed Freak. Um, but he was a boy. He never took nothing from nobody. He never robbed nobody. He was just a young boy that was just trying to get him some money, and he stayed right there. He hustled right there in front of his house, right in front of his door, where his mama was, where his daddy was, where everybody knew him at. Nobody else hustled there. He was the only person that hustled there, and he got murdered one night right there. My dog Freak. Freak is probably somebody that a lot of people won't remember other than his loved ones and people like me. Um, because he didn't get a chance. He didn't have a crew. He didn't have no niggas he hung with. He was solo, you know what I mean, other than his family. So he didn't get a chance to get out there in the streets and make a name for himself. His wings, he got clipped early. You know what I'm saying? Like if I go to Ivy Lane and I say Freak, it may be people don't even remember him. I remember him though. That don't make him no less important, because he was a great kid, cool kid. I really was fond of Freak. I really was, man. I really was happy. He would have been a lifelong friend for me. I'm telling you, I know this. I know this because he fucked with me and I fucked with him. You know what I'm saying? He came to my house. I could go to his house. He got murdered. That's how the streets is, y'all. That's how I'm trying to tell y'all. Like, I got stories for days, bro. I got stories for days. That's how this shit be. Got murdered. Unsolved murder. Young boy. Freak ain't even had no kids, y'all. Now that I can remember. Don't make me lie, but I don't think he did. I don't think Freak had no kids or nothing. Yup. I told y'all, boy, I got stories. Off the top of my head, I could sit here and I have 5 more murders of people that I knew that I could just tell you right now, off the top of my head. But we've been rocking for 2 hours. I'm gonna let this one go. Um, I'll probably tell y'all some more stories tomorrow. Story time. Depends on something happen in the hip hop world I want to cover, but I'm gonna tell y'all story time. Get these shits out there. Rest in heaven to my dog Freak. Rest in heaven to high school, Lil Tony Jones. I told y'all, but I be having like survivor's remorse sometimes, like for real, like all these people, dog. Like, share, comment to the video, man. Hit the cash app, donate to the channel, share this video. Shout out to Tanel Bowen. Shout out to Nephew for Real. Shout out Chicks 1000, aka the Chick 1K. Shout out to Drake Stricter 100. Shout out to Audio Crack 22. Shout out to Deputy Eula. Shout out to Flyboy Michael Foe. Uh, Shout out to Nay Said It. Shout out to Angie Baby. Shout out to Cat Love. Shout out to Paradox True. Shout out to Edie. Shout out to Haley. Shout out to Kenny. Um, Shout out to all y'all, man. I just felt like what's up, Eddie? Look, I just gave my girl a shout out. She there pop up, boy. Eddie pop up. You like candy, man, Eddie. I said shout out to Eddie, and she popped right up. Uh, I'm finna get out of here. I just felt like telling y'all some of these sad stories I got of people that I knew that got murdered, bro. Like, y'all know I got all the stories, and y'all said that y'all like some of these stories. So that was a long one. That was a good one right there. I told y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? So jump in the comment section on the replay gang, and let me know if y'all want to hear more of these stories, man. You know, it's kind of therapeutic for me to get these shits out. You know what I'm saying? I don't wanna die with these stories. I want people to hear these motherfuckers. But I swear, bro, so many people that I know got murdered, dog. Like, I'm talking about seriously, like so many people. I just gave y'all two stories tonight. And actually I gave y'all three. I gave y'all one earlier, and I just gave y'all two tonight. So that's three right there. So I'm gonna keep giving y'all some stories. I hear you, Eddie. I've been had a little itch. I've been having a little life been life and girl, life been life. But I'm good though. I'm good though. You know your boy built for it, tough. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna let y'all go, man. I've been rocking on this thing. This is my second live for the night, so I done dropped two lives for y'all. So, I'm trying to get back in the habit of giving y'all guys some content in a consistent manner. You know what I'm saying? Just hit that like button for me, share the video, um, subscribe to the channel, hit the cash out for your boy. I would appreciate it. Uh, I'll holler at y'all tomorrow. I'll make sure to drop y'all some. Okay, I'll check my IG. Um, Make sure that I give y'all some content tomorrow too. Chill.